Are you looking to do deals and master flipping houses? Welcome to the DoDeals show with our host, Mr. Tim Mai. As a successful investor and mentor to many real estate investors, Tim's students consistently run 6- and 7-figure investing businesses. Each week, you'll hear from top real estate investors who share the best strategies, systems, and secrets that you can use to be more successful. Tim and his guests will pull back the curtain for you to learn their exact tactics, tricks, and tools that are working best right now in today's real estate market. Now, let's welcome Mr. Tim Mai.
Oh, hello, my friends on Facebook. On this interview, I have my good friend Andrey Socurec on the line with us. Andrey is an extremely successful real estate investor, entrepreneur, came from zero, came from nothing, and built multiple 7-figure businesses. We're about to do an entire interview, but I wanted him to share with you what is his one best secret or one best tip to go from nothing as an immigrant to the United States 11 years ago to where he is today. And so, Andrey, what's the secret, buddy?
Well, Tim, I'm delighted to share my secret. And this is the secret, not a secret, but this is a universal success principle that I learned from my mentor, Jack Canfield. I learned a lot from him. And when I learned that, I basically tripled my income and double my time off within a year.
Oh, wow.
So if you guys ready to listen, is actually grab a pen and take notes, because that's it. So this is my secret, is ask. What I mean by that is a lot of times we're so concerned about rejection, so we don't ask for help. But guys, in reality, a lot of successful people actually would love to help you. If you talk to any successful person and ask him to help, most likely he will say yes. And if they don't say yes, they say no, so you didn't lose anything. You just go to the next successful guy and ask him. So when I came in the country, I didn't know anyone, but I really wanted to connect with the top real estate guys and to learn from them. So what I did, I just wrote a letter to the guy, very successful. I saw him in the news all the time, all the big deals he does here in the cities, and I wrote him a letter. And I actually was prepared to write him a lot of letters, and I simply asked him to meet with me. I told him that I came here in the country just a couple of years ago. I don't have any money, but I really want to learn the business, and I really admire him as a businessman. And surprisingly enough, he responded to me and he said, I'm available this time. I have 15 minutes for you. And I was so happy. I met with him, and instead of 15 minutes, he met for 1 hour with me, and he said, because I have so many questions, so he said, we need to meet more. And we're still good friends with him, and I meet with him every other month, and I get advice from him. So my advice for you is ask. You're going to be surprised that so many people, especially successful, are willing to help you. So ask for what you want. If you want somebody to invest in your company or raise the money or do something for you, ask. And another success principle is SW, which means some will, somewhat, someone's waiting. So even if you get no as an answer, that's not a big deal. You can go to a different guy.
Awesome. I love that. All right, Facebook, make sure you keep an eye out for when we upload the full interview, and you get to learn a whole lot more from Andrey. So with that, see you for now, Facebook. Okay.
That was cool.
All right. Yes, it was, right? Andrey, so let me do a full introduction now as we go into our full interview. So, Andrey, as I shared earlier, right, came here 11 years ago with no money, no friends, no English, and has built an amazing, career for himself, doing real estate investing, And now he, not only does he do a lot of deals, he also owns a lot of rentals for passive income. He runs a local coaching business to teach other investors how to become a real estate investor, as well as have a TV show, a live in-person TV show. He's a super popular person that a lot of people want to interview and learn more, because his success has been absolutely amazing. So Andrey, if you can share with everyone, what came to the U.S. to begin with? Like, how did you arrive here?
Tim, thank you so much for such a great introduction. I'm thrilled. Thank you. I'm glad to be on your show. By the way, I'm super happy for your successes, because you're an immigrant just like me, and all of the people come to this country because this is a country of the biggest opportunities ever. You're not going to come to any country in the world with nothing, without knowing English, and build your own business or successful business, and where this is the country where the sky is the limit. So obviously, my reason why I came to this country is because I wanted to fulfill my dreams, and I wanted a better life for myself and for my family.
That's awesome. And so like, how did that, for me, to come to America, it was a very different, we had to go through refugee camps and all of that. Like, what was the process for you? Is it much easier were you here on a work visa, student visa? Like, how does that work?
Well, I was fortunate enough, I got the green card.
Okay.
There was a green card lottery, and so I have a green card.
Oh.
But it's interesting, but I came to America because I wanted to repay my dad. I borrowed $20,000 from my brother, who was already here in America, and I started a business, and the business lost the money back home, and there was no way for me to repay the debt. I calculated that I was making $500 a month, which was a good compensation, but $20,000, it will take me a lot of years to repay that. So my initial goal was to come here, make my money, and go back. But as soon as I came here, I never got back. Go to visit my parents and friends, but now I understand the lifestyle is completely different here.
Gotcha. And so when you came here, did you get started in real estate investing right away, or did you do something else after you came?
Well, when I came here, the real estate was booming. The professions like a realtor, a loan officer, was like everybody could become a real estate professional, and I became a loan officer. And I closed my first loan because I could not speak English. I'm still learning it. I started calling all the Russian people, like in Minnesota and California, and offering them loans. And I closed my first loan, made $16,000.
Nice.
And I said that I'm in heaven. I only need to close a couple loans a month, and I'm all set for life. But it didn't last long. Like, the crisis was in 2008, and
right.
The income now is to normal level for most of the people.
Gotcha. Okay. And yeah, so you got started as a loan officer. So how did you transition? Like, at what point did you got into the actual investing?
Well, in 2008, when the market dropped, I saw it as a great opportunity, because I already seen it in my country when the market went up and down, and a lot of people been scared to buy real estate, and I could not find banks. So what they've done, they raised private money from friends and family, like just basically made a PowerPoint presentation, and I had to listen to a lot of no's. But it didn't stop me. I just went from one person to another person, so I was able to raise enough money, and we bought a bunch of rentals. And since now, everything what we paid is basically 2.5 times more in value, and we're able to refinance, pay those investors off, and get the loans from banks.
Gotcha. Okay. And so, I forgot to ask. So, were you married when you came here, or? You were, okay. So your whole family moved here at the same time?
Sure.
All right, cool. So how did you share a little bit about how you sought out, a top investor, right, in the area and get his help. Like, share with us. So, did you learn that from Jack Canfield prior to approaching that investor? Like, how did you got started into educating yourselves? Like, okay, what's the best way for me to, get started, learn from someone? So share with us the insight into that.
Man, Tim, this is a great question, because when I came here, I didn't have any friends. Like, all my friends were, like, most of them were like in construction business. Mm-hmm. So they didn't have a lot of, I would say, expertise. But I didn't used to work in construction field. I mean, in the field, like having a hammer. But I had to in the beginning because nobody wanted to have me. So, but what I love and admire about this country is because we have so many libraries, and you don't need to have life mentors. I went to the self-help section and started researching books, and I realized there are so many books and videos. It's free and so convenient. So I read 2 books. One was obviously real estate investor Robert Kiyosaki, Rich Dad, Poor and Cash Flow Quadrant, and I really liked that idea. And second was Jack Canfield. And then, like a couple years later, we went on on a cruise. I went on a cruise to learn from Robert Kiyosaki, Kim Kiyosaki. He brought his entire team to the Real Estate Investor Summit at the sea. And that was an amazing experience to learn from him, from his team. What I learned is you got to surround yourself with like-minded people. Mm-hmm. And basically, like Jim Rohn said, success leaves clues. So you just need to do role modeling. And then I went to Jack Canfield, trained the training event, Breakthrough Success, become assistant for his self-development workshops. And I understood that it's not about technical skills, it's everything about your mindset.
Yeah.
And that helped me a lot, and it helped me in my coaching business is to help people to remove limiting beliefs and self-imposed blocks, because like everything in our mind. And then I went to Tony Robbins, and I still have mentors and coaches. Like Harvey Mackay is my personal mentor. I go to his office like every month and learn from him. Then I went to Zappos, learned 3 days from Tony Hsieh.
Yeah.
How they operate the business, why they're so successful, and I brought my people also with me. So everybody could learn, because it's not about me anymore. It's about my team, how I'm going to develop my team and invest in them. Because like a general can be only good as his army. That's what Napoleon said.
Wow.
I love
now that.
It's I want to invest in my team. I brought them to Tony Robbins, Jack Canfield events, because I want them to grow every year with me.
That's awesome. I love that. Yeah, I love your story about going to the library, because how I did my first deal is funny enough, but I went through 6 months, right? I did door knock on the pre-foreclosures. I didn't get any deal. And then one day I was frustrated. I was in Barnes & Noble, and I decided to pick up a book. It was from Peter Conti. And I think like the beginning of the book, it says something about, if you want to do a deal in the next 30 days, go put out 100 signs. And so I read the first 3 chapters. I closed the book. I didn't buy it. I put it back on the shelf and went out and put out 200 signs. I'm like, I'm going to do double what he says to do. And sure enough, I got a deal that weekend from doing that. And so I love that story. And yeah, I think that some people make things more complicated than that. And it's about when we say, okay, enough is enough, I'm going to stop learning and I'm going to start implementing what I've just learned, right? And like you said, it's, most of it's on mental. It's not, most of it isn't in the technical how-to of things.
Yeah, it's interesting. I start going to CrossFit. It's a gym, and like I'm looking, I never like lifted weight, but I'm looking at the guys and well, if this guy can do it, I probably can do it too. So just otherwise, I would think that I would never be able to lift the weight.
Right.
But if somebody else done it many times and they say you can do it too, you just need to take action.
That's awesome. So what is your primary investing strategy? in your investing business?
So my primary strategy is, number one is I started actually my business is with buying rentals. So when I bought a bunch of rentals, it gave me like kind of security when you get passive income every month. But unfortunately, the return, like to have a better lifestyle, I can retire, but like the lifestyle would not be what I want. So I decided, well, now I need to generate more income through house buying and selling, because you still need to work. But you can generate much higher returns than you can get from rentals. So I started a house buying business, and my company Homestead Road. We bought 500 plus homes. We're here in Minneapolis, St. Paul market. We buy across all Minnesota. We buy in Wisconsin, and this is my main business. I have a team about 20 people, and we do a lot of advertisement. We're basically a marketing company. We find people who we can help. Our mission is to serve people better than anyone else. So we added a lot of wow experiences that we learned from companies Zappos, Amazon, and we have A+ Better Business Bureau. And also we've been nominated to receive a award from Better Business Bureau for ethics. This year we were finalists. So you don't see like very often a house buying company has like such a great reputation.
Right. That's awesome. And then what you said that you're more or less a marketing company. So what are some of your top two marketing channels that you use to get most of your deals?
Well, it depends how many resources you have. Let's say if you have only $1,000, like when I started with direct mail. And if you're just thinking to start the business, you gotta spend either time or money. And if you have a lot of people, unfortunately, don't have enough time. So what I would do if I had to start it all over again is just to have a combination. It is probably to send at least $3,000 to $5,000 mailers, right? And then start processing leads, because find the houses or find the people who want to sell the house. This is the most complicated thing. And then you need to how to structure and negotiate. So direct mail is number one for us to start, but when we progressed, we added Google pay-per-click. Now we do TV ads, and also we do full page ads in like local newspapers. It costs a lot of money, but now we've proven we have the track record and we have the numbers. So we can gradually increase the marketing channels and to spend more money.
That's awesome. And typically, like what kind of volume do you do on a yearly basis?
So we buy 8 homes a month. So 8. And we don't do wholesale. We close all the time on the homes, and we fix them up and sell, or we do soft flips where basically we have a network of contractors. So if we cannot fix the house ourselves, or profit margin is not there, we just don't have resources, we move it to a contractor who doesn't have overhead, doesn't need to spend money on marketing. And if we can make $20K on the house, a contractor make $20K on the house, everybody's happy.
That's awesome. So when you do that, what is the arrangement? Do you like sell it to them, or do you go in like partnership with them on the deal? How does that work?
It depends with different people. Sometimes we provide financing to them, so they don't even need to go to hard money lenders. So I like this strategy, because now you build in a basically finance business, and I have a banking background. I used to be a commercial underwriter in bank, and I like this because like they assume all the risk, and you still get fixed returns. So what we do, we market our homes. Like, for example, we'll sell your house. The price is $100,000. With our financing, we'll finance you for 6 months. We want to make sure that you understand the business, you have experience. You only need to put $5,000 down payment. And if you have cash or you have your own financing, you can get $10,000 discount.
Gotcha.
For 90. And a lot of people don't want to go through the hard money lenders' expenses, and It's easy. They don't need so much down payment. So they like that route. But what we do for ourselves is we increase profitability by $10,000 per deal. And if we do 100 deals a month,
yeah.
so it adds up.
Yeah. That's awesome. Okay, and then so how did you go from there into, running a coaching business? What made you say, "Hey, I think I might like to start a coaching business"? What was that transition?
Well, it was an interesting transition because one of the home exercises that Jack Canfield assigned to us is you actually have to do a workshop, like motivated workshop. And I was so passionate to help the people to teach them, but unfortunately no one wanted to hear my advice for free. And then I look at all other guys. I spent so much money on education, probably maybe $300,000 plus, and they still spend a lot of money. I said, well, I probably need to start charging people, so then they will be happy to hear my advice. And that's how we get started. I just say, well, you if you want to learn, because I have a lot of invitations, like probably most of the guys, hey, can we have a coffee with you, right? So you don't have time to serve everyone. But then I also decided if I have a structured training, so I take full responsibility. I tell people, hey, it's a 100% money get back guarantee. You don't like it, you don't like my Russian accent, I'll return the money. Yeah, so far nobody returned the money, so I'm proud. And also we get feedback from people after the event. We ask them on a scale of 1 to 10, give us a rating. We're always striving to improve, and that helps a lot to improve over time the trainings.
That's awesome. And so how is it for you? Like, what's the difference for you, would you say, between just doing real estate investing versus doing both real estate investing and coaching? Like, how has the coaching business benefit you?
Well, at the beginning, it's frustrating. Yeah, like a lot of guys who started doing this business, like, because I just, it's interesting. It was a great reminder. I interviewed Michael E. Gerber, the EMIF guy, on my TV show, and he said a really interesting thing. He said, guys, like technical guys, like we know how to flip houses, and they don't have proper fulfillment systems, and they try either to build a business. They're basically lunatics who try to do everything by themselves. So we didn't have any fulfillment system. We didn't have proper marketing. Coaching was frustrating from both sides because like it takes a lot of time. And but when you do, like with overtime, you improve and build the processes, onboarding, offboarding, if people have challenges, how you're going to resolve, add accountability so they actually can get the results. So that's what I like about the coaching model. Let's say, because I tell people, hey, I'm here, this is my office, you can always come and knock on my door, and you don't even to let me know, just come in and we'll help you to do a deal. That's, I think, separates like local business model from like big box coaching model.
Right.
Because big box coaching model, they have a phone, 1-800 phone, and their best intention to help people. However, people have so many challenges and they have doubts about themselves. You know that, right?
Yeah.
They start doing marketing and say, hey, I got 20 leads or 40 leads and nothing yet. So, well, that simply means that numbers don't lie. So in the next probably couple of weeks, you should close about 2 deals. If you don't close, we have an issue with you converting the leads.
Yeah.
And then, boom, people have 2 deals in a row. But if people don't have support, they got frustrated. And a lot of people, you know that numbers don't lie. You know that marketing works. But what's stopping people is actually fear. And so I tell people, when you invest in a coaching, we need to have agreements. That's what I learned from Harvey McKay. Agreements prevent disagreement. I tell them, you're not going to doubt this decision for 12 months. Okay? Every time when you have a doubt that it's not the right decision, it's a weed that you got to put it out of your head. and that helped me tremendously.
I like that.
People pay a lot of money. I remember myself, I paid $100,000 for coaching, and on the first session, I almost threw up. It's like I was thinking that was a stupid decision that I ever made. But I managed myself and wrote it down. Hey, I'm going to really see the results probably after 12 months, and there is no reason to doubt yourself because you're not going to get anywhere.
Right.
Yeah.
That's good. Okay. Now, and then do you require your students to do deals with you, like deal splits with you, or is it optional for them?
Well, actually, this I learned from you. Is you have said, well, it looks like Tim does a great job doing that. So probably I also want to do split deals because on the first deal, people want somebody to walk them through this because they feel uncomfortable. They start mumbling and they're not sure. People feel it, especially sellers. They don't think that you're an expert, and the conversion ratio goes down. So we tell people, hey, we actually want you to split the first deal, and when you have your first hot lead, you just let us know, our acquisition guys, and somebody else will go on appointment with you and close you the deal so you can get return on investment faster.
Right.
And then when you feel comfortable that you can close, you actually become a real estate investor by experience.
Yep.
Then it will be easier for you. You'll be more confident you can close deals.
Right. Yep. Yeah, for sure.
Oh, you know it, right? Tell me, with your students, what is the process in your model?
Yeah, very similar, So our students, depending on what how long they sign, what packages that they sign up for, whether it's 3 months, 6 months, 12 months, more or less, it's we require them to split at least one deal for each month that they are with us. So if it's a 3 month program, it's 3 deals, 6 months, 6 deals, kind of like that. And yeah, we, all of our coaches are our successful investors that became coaches. And so they understand, the challenges that our new students go through, and so they, they're ready to help the student anytime, go on appointments and things like that. And then we also let our students join in with our own marketing. So we have a co-op marketing that we do, and so that also allows us to control. We have a better control on the type of leads that the students are getting without them making too much mistakes in the beginning. Because in the beginnings, we just want them to learn how to talk to sellers over the phone, meet them, analyze the deal, and get a contract as soon as possible. So that's part of what we do. Is we take out as many of the components of a deal as possible and have them focus in on the acquisition part of it, making the deal happen. And then from there, of course we teach everything else. We teach about marketing, but until they do their first few deals, we want them to just focus a lot on negotiating and converting that deal. Because just like you said, the numbers don't lie, right? If they do their marketing and the leads are in, but they're not getting any deals, it's because of conversion. And for most students, that's their biggest issue. The biggest thing for them is the conversion, not so much the marketing, because we teach our students the exact marketing that we do already. So they're more or less duplicating our own marketing. So we do the deal split for that main reason, is to help them convert those deals. And our coaches get paid from the deals that they help the students convert to. So it's a win-win-win for everybody, and it's a cool sort of accountability to make sure that we are in it together and making the deal happen.
Yeah, what we found really valuable to add, we have weekly in our office weekly sales training, because exactly to convert the person art, you have to know how to handle objections, how to walk the seller through the different stages of the sales process, and also deal reviewing. So we have sales training and deal reviewing. So basically people learn how to negotiate the deal, and also we tell them, hey, bring the leads in our office. we'll take a look. We'll take a second look on them, because a lot of new investors, they just simply don't see the deal where there is a potential deal.
Right. Yeah, exactly. So awesome. So you also have a TV show. What made you decide to do that?
Well, I always wanted to have access to a lot of role models. So I said, well, how can I get access to the people, right? Well, I'm going to invite them to my TV show, right? And like, you get an invitation to be on a TV show, and the people put makeup on you, and you sit in front of the camera. And now all of a sudden I become an authority and say, well, have you ever been on a TV show, right? So that's just cool. And cool. You build a lot of connections as a result of that TV show, and you meet new people, then you follow up with them, and you build relationships.
That's.
But I'm like you. I like to learn. That's what I don't like to have like mumbo jumbo like in business. I'm not an operation guy. That's my best use of my time, is to build relationship with people, to learn, and to grow, and to coach, train, and to grow other people. Right. That's where I have my biggest fulfillment.
Gotcha. That's awesome. What would you say is your strength? Like, what are, what makes you so much more successful than, 99% of other investors out there, would you say?
Oh, that's such a good question. Well, I'm not different than any other people, but what's important is to have role models. So I decided, well, who is the most successful guy in the industry? Okay, what does he do? Why he is successful? And you basically duplicate his success. And if you can reach out to the guy and say, hey, can we have a coffee? Can you teach me? It's unbelievable. Like in your short, like Facebook ad, well, not ad, but promo about the interview. Like I look back, so many times I just simply asked people for help. And and I didn't understand the concept till I actually went to Jack Canfield, Train the Trainer. Mm-hmm. And what happened, he had an exercise, a puzzle. And like, I have big ego. Like, I've always been like best at school. I was best at college. So I actually I had not liked to ask for help. And they had a real
That's me, by the way.
Well, I'll tell you. So maybe it will be good advice for you.
Yeah.
So even like when I went to a store, right? And the salesperson asking, hey, do you need any help? And let's say my wife tells me you have to buy non-fat milk or like gluten-free something. I have no idea. And that was so frustrating because I said no, and I wanted to try out to find it by myself. I always did, but it took so much time.
Yeah.
And after the training, I realized that you have to ask for help early. Now I go to the store and I don't even need it. I say, hey, can you help me to find this? It's so much faster.
Yep.
And I just want to share with you another exercise. What he did is I done a couple. So maybe like people who watch it can implement it the same. So one of the home assignment was to go to a store, a Subway, and ask where Subway is. Right? So I remember myself, I go to the Subway, I'm sweating, like it's English second language, and like I go into the store, like, and there is a line behind me, I'm waiting until everybody passed, and then I come to the guy and say, hey, I'm sorry, could you tell me where Subway is? And he said, well, buddy, you're right here, this is Subway. And that's it, nothing happened. He didn't tell me that I'm stupid or I'm dumb or something else. He just says, so a lot of time when you ask, people expect that like somebody will judge you, think bad about yourself, but most likely they want to help you. And this is another like episode, like what I applied, and then I decided, yeah, that's really true. I always wanted, he said that you got to ask for what you want and start training yourself on small things. Let's say, for example, you go to a restaurant and you don't like your table or food, just say, I'm sorry, like, can I switch it? I don't like the food, like, it's too salty, like, can we replace it? Start asking with small things. And what I learned, that people willing to help you. So I really wanted to have a picture inside of like a commercial flight, like Boeing like 747. And when all the people passed, went out, I made a story say, I have a birthday, so can I get a picture inside of the cabin? And you know what they told me?
Yes.
They said, come on in, buddy. Like, we put everybody in. And the captain gave me his hat, and he took my phone. He take 5 or 6 pictures. So he said, do you like these pictures? If not, let me retake them. And like, I said,
awesome.
Oh my God. So much. And I remember myself, I always walking through that cabin, and I always wanted to have a picture. It's a not small thing, but you start like have those thoughts. What people think about it, right? What people thinking? How are they going to judge you? So that was such a powerful exercise that most of the people want to help you. And if you stop thinking about what other people think about, most of the people concerned about themselves, not about you. So if you think that, build the mentality that people as a human beings, that they actually willing to help. Like, look at yourself. If somebody asking you for help, naturally your inclination is you want to help them. It's so hard to reject someone else. That's what we really need to learn, how to reject people. Right. It's so easy to say yes. Yeah. So that was such a powerful exercise.
That's awesome. I love that. I recently saw a TED Talk video of about a guy that did 100 days of, he calls it rejection therapy. For 100 days, each day he goes out and he asks for something, and yeah, at first he was super scared, like he asked to borrow $100, and and he was super scared, and then as it goes on, his confidence built up, and he ended up getting all kinds of stuff, but yeah, now that I'm talking to you about it, it's like, wow, this is a great thing for us to do with our students, like have them go and get rejection as part of their coaching. So every day they have to go out there and get a rejection somewhere, somehow, right? Yeah. Like, or go ask, right? And go ask for something, whether it's rejection, they get a rejection or not. But that's awesome. So
there was a great exercise that I tell to students. I said, hey, okay, so every time you get, I want you to have 20 rejections. You understand why? Because it takes about 20 leads to close a deal. And every time somebody says no to you, you can say, hey, Mr. Seller, thank you so much. I appreciate your time. Thank you very much for $1,000. Well, why is $2,000? Well, you know what, Mr. Seller, when we buy a house and we fix it up, like on average we make about 20 grand. So I need to talk to 20 people. So I talk to you. So I have to talk to 19 people more. So it cost me, I probably make $1,000, and like it helps them. So instead of thinking that you got rejected, you need to think is you made a process, and now you have like 19 more people to talk to before you're going to make your money.
That's awesome. I love that. Great tip. So by now I'm sure the listeners, the watchers are in love with you. Where do you if they want to connect with you, if they want to reach out to you, where do you want to send them?
I have my TV show. When they air it on TV, they release it, and I upload it on YouTube. So it's called The Real Deal in Real Estate. So you can just basically find it and subscribe. And if you're here in Minnesota, Wisconsin, so you can come to our monthly trainings. We have Midwest Real Estate Investor Association, where we meet every month. So you can find us on meetup.com, the website, where all and just see all the meetings. The meetings are free, and you come and meet all other people.
That's awesome. All right, so one more question for you before we go. I believe that all entrepreneurs are heroes. Do you see yourself as a hero?
Wow, this is such a challenging question. Well, it depends who I talk to. For my kids, I'm a hero, actually, and for someone else might not. But so what's important is to improve yourself every day, and don't compare yourself with someone else. That's the main thing. Because if, let's say, you buy a car you buy a new BMW, and I live in a nice neighborhood, so I was thinking to buy a new car, and now I see my neighbor, he bought new Bentley. So it's hard for me, like, all of a sudden I can't be disappointed, right? Or I can say I made my own progress. I don't compare myself with someone else.
Right.
That's I think important.
That's
So
awesome.
compare yourself, just keep growing, and then you're going to be a hero.
I love that. Thank you so much, Andrey, for this awesome interview. I love it. You know, I'm very inspired by your success, what you've been able to accomplish for yourself, and I love what you've been sharing with us. You know, about ask, about learning, modeling, right? Learning from other people, and like always putting yourself out there to learn and to ask. Thank you so much for your wisdom. I look forward to talking to you on the next interview, or do an interview with your show. And so,
Well, Tim, thank you so much for your time. I had the pleasure. Now I need to ask you is I have a TV show, so I want you to be my guest and to share your wisdom, because you have such an incredible story that I want to share your story with the people watching my show.
Yes, definitely. Anytime.
All right.
Buddy. All right. Thanks, everybody. See you in our next interview.
And that's our show for today. If you have any questions or would like to get further training from Tim Mai, please visit our website at www.dodeals.com/Tim.